Hello everybody, this is Paul Kilpatrick from BetaBooks. In this video we're going to talk about how to start an account and upload your first book on BetaBooks. Click Get Started and then enter a first and last name. This can be your real name, your pen name. You can also change this later. Enter an email address. Hit Continue. This is just a little author information. This is private and optional, but if you have a technical issue or a question, this helps us know a little bit more about you and your book when you contact us. We ask how many beta readers you're planning on using, because there's a number of features that we suggest authors turn on and off on the site depending on how large their pool is. Then create a username and a password. At the bottom there you will see our terms of service. Please take a look at those. They talk about how your book is private, it's not being published, cannot be found if people are using a search engine to look for it. This is your dashboard where you will see some BetaBooks news, notifications, books you're reading, and your books. Create a book is where we want to go first. Put a title in. You can change this later if you like. I'm going to use Alice in Wonderland. I do know that it is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Please forgive me. So we're going to create it. This is your table of contents, the home page for this specific book. We're going to add a chapter. That's the first thing we do. Chapter has a title. You put it in there. Once again, everything can be changed later, but I'm just going to copy and paste down the rabbit hole in that spot. Right below you will see beginning of chapter guidance. This is chapter specific, and it's just a little place you can put in something that you want to tell your readers before they start reading. End of chapter guidance, same thing, but at the end of the chapter. So if you have any specific questions you want to ask about the chapter, you can ask them here. Then I'm going to copy and paste in the text. Now BetaBooks intentionally strips out any complicated formatting so that it's easy to optimize it before people read it on their tablets, their phones, that sort of thing. Most ebooks these days have dynamic formatting, which means formatting changes as the screen size changes. So we're going to create that. This thing goes to this screen. You can enter the chapter. You can view the chapter in the reader. I always encourage people to do this first. This is what the book will look like on a laptop screen when you invite someone to read it. We try to make the reading experience as close to what it will be like reading on people's favorite e-reading programs. You'll see the top there. You can edit the chapter. So we're going to go just show what that's like. I'm going to quickly change the beginning of chapter guidance. This is what kind of stuff you can do whenever you want on your book as people are reading it or before you let it out into the world. And at the bottom of the page here, you can either create a new version, which is specifically designed for when people update the text of the chapter. You can also leave a note to yourself about why you made changes or what the changes you made were at the bottom there. There's also a notify readers option, which lets all your readers know when you make a change to a chapter. They'll see, hey, chapter 1's been updated. And I'm going to add another chapter, chapter 2, real quick. Same process. And you'll notice there's some complicated formatting in here, two little bits of poetry. One's in italics and one is in a different font. This preserves your bold and italics, but we use default fonts found on people's browsers and devices. This means you don't have to worry about readers being asked to download font packets, and you, as the author, do not owe any licensing fees to rights holders or font designers. We support Unicode, which is a 140,000 symbol set. That means if you want to use any non-Latin languages like Cyrillic or ancient Sanskrit, you can go right ahead and do that. So now we're going to the table of contents. You see now there's two chapters there. If you want to move them in order, you can. The number will change automatically. You can view, hide, edit, or delete the chapter, change the name of the chapter. You can also hide the automatic numbering if you don't want that to be seen by your readers. I'm going to quickly add the rest of the book here in a second. It takes about 15 to 30 seconds to upload a chapter. I did all this in a little bit less than 5 minutes. Now you see the whole book is there. All the features are still there, moving things around, view, hide, edit, delete. Now there's an About the Book section at the top. This lives at the top of the table of contents to remind people what the book is about. Critique guidance, like the beginning and end of chapter guidance, is book-wide and appears at the top of every chapter. So if you have book-wide guidance you want to give people, you can do it right here. Now that is also optional, so if you don't want anything to appear at the top of a chapter, you can leave that blank. You can also edit the title of the book here. You'll notice at the bottom of the page a small note about questionnaires. That's a paid feature that allows you to insert questionnaires between chapters. Now you will see in the top left-hand corner of the screen a menu icon. That is how you navigate the site and get back to your dashboard, which we'll do right now. And you will then see under My Books, Alice in Wonderland. Clicking on that gets you back to the table of contents. Now let's look at some of the advanced settings real quick. I'll cover these in more detail later, but here you can choose to receive notification anytime reader leaves feedback. You can choose to share feedback among your readers, or more specifically, require your feedback from a reader before they see other people's, and a couple of other things that you can change and tweak. You can also deactivate your book. That does not delete your book, it just shuts the book to readers so that you can work on your feedback and with the book as long as you'd like. Now I will cover invitations and feedback in next videos. Thank you for watching.